Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Harmony. I am a twin flame expert helping twin flames around the globe face fears, find freedom, and glow forward on fire. Welcome to my weekly glow show. Today's topic is, are you losing hope? Are you leaving the light on? And are you finding yourself doubting this journey, doubting yourself, doubting your beloved, doubting the process? Well, today's urgent message came above two other topics that were on the menu to get recorded this week. And yesterday, this message flooded through with so many different pieces connecting dots. So I knew it was time to come forth and bring this message and deliver this first. So today, what my goal here is to share with you 8 ways to help you turn your hopelessness into hopefulness, and for us to take a look at the energy patterns as I usually do, but then how can you apply this into your reality at where you're at? And that's not to say everybody is in this space, but what I will say on some level, I think that it is affecting everyone. Everyone is feeling stuck. So really it's also kind of like, are you feeling stuck? And anytime you're stuck in a situation, it can lead to hopelessness, and different levels of hopelessness can come out of that based on where you are at personally. I am experiencing some things with Champ this week in that aspect. Me being on the other side of it, not necessarily feeling it, but I'll share with you how he has come forth once again, as he is in this whole journey, to teach me what to teach you. And so let's first talk about, what does it mean to lose hope? So feeling of hopelessness is really that feeling of despair that ultimately means what you're doing is giving away your own empowerment, your own choices. And so what that basically means is that you're passively abandoning yourself out of the fear of the outcome and giving away your fate and your destiny in the hands of feeling that it's not going to come to pass. So passive abandonment of oneself, that the outcome of our fate and our destiny is not going to come into fruition, so to speak. So people are feeling stuck in this fear of the outcome. We don't always know what that outcome is, because we are being asked to trust this process. We're being asked to trust the lesson. And at this phase of the journey, we are being put in that position really because it's part of the lesson. It's part of the mastery. It's part of the process. And so the sooner you can find the positive aspects of this and shift and realize that, these situations actually, when we create the hope, it actually can create miracles, because then it allows our darkest night to be create our greatest brightness of the day. So our darkest hour becomes and creates our brightest day. That's something I was shown. That was one of my quotes, very first quotes that it came through in this twin flame journey. And so it's coming back through. And I'm also unveiling more information about that I want to share from you as my personal raw journey today, and how this links to me and my journey, and how I know this message is to be presented to you, which means there has to be validity to this, because we can't all be in this process in these same places at the same time for any accident. There are no accidents. And so the sooner we can trust this process and shift into the divine alignment of what it is that is our outcome, with trusting that whatever we signed up for will exist and is there, the sooner we can move forward, the sooner we can find hope, the sooner we can create lemonade out of our lemons. And I want to tell you kind of like where this started sparking some of these dots yesterday, as I went to an event that is a local connecting women's empowerment group that I had been involved with some of these ladies many moons ago in my chiropractic practice. And I've done other groups throughout this process too, as far as kind of a marketing networking type group. But I haven't found the need to really do that, in the last little bit, because I'm on a global scale, and I show up and people show up, and it's not like I feel like I have the need to go network and, bring people in to what I have. However, I can tell that it was a divine appointment that I show up. It did become home. There were so many things about it that was amazing. And I made so many great connections that I could also see that part of that journey is about me also anchoring this unconditional love vibration here in the heart chakra of the nation, because the name of that group is Gateway to Dreams by a very dear and near and dear friend, Karen Hoffman here in the Gateway, that started this nonprofit. So, and that's just kind of a side note. But what I wanted to tell you was there was a lady there yesterday that kind of brought this up. She has a nonprofit that is called Hope Creates Miracles. And that really hit home to me, because that's kind of what I work with every day, what I see. And I didn't get a chance to actually talk to her yesterday, but her daughter and my daughter were in a similar group for teenagers for drug addiction. And so through her experience with her daughter going through like a drug addiction, she, out of her darkest hour, if she'd have never went through this, she shared the story yesterday, how she never went through that, she would have never flipped that around into such a beautiful, positive way, creating miracles for people every day through her own foundation and creating a nonprofit that she's now offering hope for people and creating miracles every day for people that are dealing with addictions and addictive personalities and, drug addictions and different things like that. So, that's what I'm saying. And I've been saying the same thing from my own standpoint. When we step outside of our own circumstances, that these circumstances are really happening to us in order for us to use them as a blessing versus a curse. And that helps shift in our reality. It helps us shift our concept and our perception from being stuck in the moment of this dark night of the soul and giving our power away and saying that we can't have our outcome of whatever our destiny is, but we are to take these experiences and pay them forward in order to share with others and become the beacons of light for them to find their way home. And that home is being of that inner peace and happiness that we came here to experience in this lifetime. And, what you believe, you get. What you focus on expands. What you, where you put your energy and your perception is what you get. So I'm here today to help you try to shift your perception from hopelessness to hopefulness. And so with that being said, then what I'm kind of saying here is to help you do this, to help you learn how to find the hope in your situation and create these miracles, is like being able to create a masterpiece, being able to do it with a new slate, a clean slate, a fresh start. And so I encourage you today to look at your life, your twin flame dynamic, your journey, your mission, your purpose, what you came here to do, with a clean slate, and decide you can rebuild that and create a new masterpiece at any given time. Because if you don't like what's going on outside of you, that's only a mere reflection of what's inside. So only you can change that by taking the responsibility of doing what you need to do within in order to change that that's without and outside of you. So I want to do that through a representation of the Van Gogh painting, Starry Night. And I want to share with you in a minute how this has really crossed my path in such a deep, deep way. And I'll share more about that, because what we want to do is recreate your life and create a masterpiece. And I want to teach you how to do that. But before we do that, I want to discuss the 3 types of energy that I'm seeing this week and others, so that you know that, 1, you're not alone, and 2, that's why I show up for these weekly glow shows, in order to help you find your path, your true north, and to find that light. This is, to me, this is that lighthouse. This is the beacon. This is helping you follow your way home. And, I'm stepping out of my own circumstances and my own pit of hell sometimes to share that light in a way that I go through these experiences, just like I said in that story, to be able to create something that can become beautiful in that, and to share and help others. And so I really encourage you to do the same. What I'm seeing a lot of is the divine feminine is losing hope in the divine masculine. And the biggest thing about this is they're having to go through another layer of letting go, another layer of surrender that they haven't done. And I'm going to share with you kind of like something that's came through this week here in a minute. But you know, I'm going to share with you, because I made a post this week about what it means to let go. And so many people loved that post on both my personal page and on, you know, my Twin Flame Expert page on Facebook, my business page there. And I'm going to share that image with you that I created with a quote, and then I'm going to read to you, you know, what that means to let go, because it is truly important at this stage of the game, especially if you're feeling hopelessness, that you need to let go of that and take accountability for your own happiness and not be giving that empowerment away to anyone, including your twin flame dynamic or the journey of that. You need to take accountability and responsibility for your own inner peace and happiness. And the second type of energy I'm seeing this week is the divine masculine is feeling helpless, hopeless, and they're in their own situations feeling stuck because they're not believing in themselves. They're, which means also, just so you know, in the reflection of that, that means that the divine feminine is not believing in self, because it's always the mirror image of what needs to be worked on, which means I'm going to make a post of the blog and the video that has the video from last week of Do You Believe in You? Actually, a couple weeks ago, I think. Do you believe in you? And so basically, believing in your journey towards taking accountability is going to help you create that inner peace and happiness that you seek. But that's what the divine masculine is currently not feeling so much of, that inner peace and happiness. And they're not really believing in themselves. They're not really believing in the journey. They're kind of hitting a wall and feeling stuck, and they don't know where to turn. And what I'm saying is it has to do with them believing in themselves. So if they don't believe in themselves, that means you don't believe in them. So if you want them to believe in them, you have to believe in them. And so I'm going to teach you a few ways today also that you can learn to believe in them and see them for who they truly are. The other third pattern of energy here I'm seeing is where a lot of the beloveds are moving on with their life. And they're forcing the divine feminine to truly let go, because the divine feminine on some level has not fully let go. And I'm seeing this where, and this has been a repetitive pattern over the last week or two, a few are getting their beloveds are getting married to other people. A couple of them have children that's became involved with other karmic partners now, or, you know, pregnancies. And they are all these things, or they're putting up a wall saying that they're not ready yet. And so it's time to, again, you know, if they're moving on with their life, the representation, the mirror image of that, you need to move on with your life. And that means back to surrendering and letting go on some level that has not been done. So now, let me just see if I want to kind of, I'm going to share with you some pieces of those. So I feel like maybe we want to do that before I move on. So let me just see here. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to kind of go through the let it go. I'm going to post the image here of the letting go image, so you can see that as I read something that I posted with that this week. And so it's basically on the image is to let go does not mean to stop caring. And that's a quote that I had put together a while back. And this had kind of came back through from a prior post, I don't even know when, as to how it showed back up. And I knew it was time to show it again. So anyway, to let go does not mean to stop caring. I can't do it for someone else. To let go is not to enable, but to allow learning from natural consequences. To let go is not to cut myself off. It is the realization that I cannot control another. To let go is to admit powerlessness, which means to the outcome that is not in your hands. To let go is not to try to change or blame another. It is to take and make the most of myself. To let go is to fear less and love more. To let go is not to care for, but to care about. To let go is not to be productive. It is to permit another to face their own reality. I'm sorry, I said productive is protective. So to let go is not to be protective. It is to permit another to face their own reality. To let go is not to deny, but to accept. It is not to avoid, scold, or nag, or argue with, but instead to search out your own shortcomings and correct those. To let go is not to fix, but it is to be supportive. It is not to judge, but allow another to be a human being and accept their mistakes. To let go is not to regret the past, but to grow and live in the present divine moment, living in the now. So that, my friends, is how we let go and we surrender to the idea of control and those things, and to realize that the only control we truly have is that which we take accountability for our own circumstances, our own situation, our own set of things that we need to work on within ourselves. And, you know, Lord knows we have enough to work on within ourselves without taking on that of the beloved and trying to fix, heal theirs. And that is, will help, honestly. And I'm seeing this in my own journey. That is also going to help them learn to take accountability for their own self and their own actions. Because you're not carrying that load for them. And I've seen that in my own dynamic and those changes. And I've actually, through this whole last year, pretty much since about May, June, have saw this shift in my own self through my own dynamic and giving back basically to everyone that which I took on for them. And it's just been a natural process. I haven't even had to go think I want to do this. Every opportunity that happened crossed my path for me to retest those templates in order to revisit the new way to handle those things. So, so that's what I wanted to share as far as I think right now, as far as how to let go. But now what I kind of want to do is go ahead and shift gears and talk about how do we shift from this hopelessness and to become more hopeful. Because how do we, basically what that means is, how do we let go at the same time we're holding space? And that's kind of what I was just saying there in the same aspect. Like that really kind of, what I just mentioned kind of answers that question and all those different how we let go. But what we must remember is we have to continue our own journey. That it is to find our own, be responsible for our own inner peace and happiness, and not to give that to anyone. But in addition to that, there is, like letting go doesn't mean that you don't care, like I said, but it can mean that we can still leave the light on. And it also means that when we leave the light on, we are focusing on our own light and keeping our own vibration high enough to become that beacon, and not just for our twin, but for other people. And that's our duty to pay forward and give back for all that which we have learned. And I mentioned this, but I'm going to say it again, because somewhere down deep inside, again, if they don't believe in them, we don't believe in them. If we don't believe in them and they don't believe in them, that also means we don't believe in ourselves. So taking the mirror test here and looking within and saying, how can I, what do I need to work on? What do I need to change? Can I stop trying to put this square peg in a round hole? Because technically you've broken your template apart. You're harmonizing yourself and you're still trying to put it back the old way, but it won't go. Or you're afraid to go back to the old way and it never will. Or it's not time to put it in the new way, but you're trying to force it to happen and it's not time. And that's the divine timing aspect of this. But one of the things we can do, and I teach this to my clients, is we can help make our beloveds, like see the good and the positive in them and help them become the star and put them within our own universe. So we technically are seeing them for who they truly are and not somebody who we technically want them to be. And that's key here, because they cannot meet the expectations that you have on them right now, and they can't even comply with their own. So to see them for who they really are technically means to see only love, to see only love in the situation, see only unconditional love in them, and to see like what they are teaching you. You be willing to look in the mirror at yourself at what they're teaching you and say, out of this situation, what is the lesson? Because everything you see in them is a reflection of yourself. And it's in the reverse and or opposite, and depending upon your dynamic, you can go a few different ways that I won't go into here because it's very in depth, but it's about finding what that reflection is and you working on you. And in that aspect, then it is also being able to find that beauty in the silence and being able to accept that this is not personal when you're not being contacted, that it's a manner of what they need to do to take care of them on most levels, and which a lot of it for them is the worthiness of the divine love and acceptance of that, and they don't feel worthy. So finding the innocence in the situation and finding the gift in the lesson they're teaching you. And I got to tell you, this is not even just doing this with like our beloveds directly. It can be doing the same process with everyone in every encounter, in every situation. I'm gonna give you an example. This thing I have going on with Champ right now. I'm gonna tell you in a minute my journey with some new things that have been developing and how I came up with this topic is that I can't even begin to tell you, the hell and back I've been through the whole journey with that ex-life partner, but having taken me to the pit of hell with Champ and ripping me apart. Sure, it can be like, oh, he's done this to me or he's done that to me. But I see the bigger picture. I know it's on a divine scale of somewhere up there. Our souls are having like honoring what we chose to learn from each other still. And I also know from what I can be feeling here, what's going on, that, he's got his own hell he's going through in this process because he has just as much risk, if not more. And he really has more risk than I do in this situation. And so for him to be going through what he's going through right now, and for when we finalize this contract externally in the real 3D world in March and Champ comes home, I know that that's going to be very painful and my heart does go out, but I cannot take that on for him. He opted this route. We opted it from the higher self. We are honoring that. And so I'm trying to find the compassion and the love and see only love in the situation. And the same token, no matter how much it feels like it could have hurt me from a standpoint of the human reality of that, I know that it was meant to be because I have learned so much from him in this journey and even so much more through this process. So I send him love and gratitude. I see only love in the situation. I see compassion for him. I see the hurting person within himself, the lessons he's having to learn the hard way, taking the long way home. And the bottom line is what we need to do in all of these people is believe in them and to see them for who they really are, is seeing them like the star that they really can shine, and to believe that, just like in this situation with him, I believe he will learn something out of this. Will it be everything he needs to know for this lifetime? Will he create his greatest ascension? That's not for me to know, but I know that it's happening for some reason for him to grow and learn from. And therefore, realizing that when we do this, and even like with our actual beloveds, when we do this, to realize we are also one of all. Like we are all like the reflection of God, and we are all the image and the light that came here to be stars to shine. And to realize then, let's put these stars in the universe and let them shine. Let yourself shine. Don't try to like be the one that has to make somebody else do something that they're not ready to do what you think they need to do based on your expectation or fulfill your own needs. So see them as a star, put them in the universe. And that's kind of how this Van Gogh really comes into play with this. And I'm going to share with you how deep this Van Gogh thing goes with me, because you know, as you know, if you're very familiar with Van Gogh as far as the Starry Night and his painting, um, like he's painted out this picture of hopelessness that I'm talking about and referring to here. He's also been coming through again, and I'm going to share that with you in a minute, as a message to share. I have studied him. It came to me 10 years ago. I didn't know at the time. And it came through, and it came through at the time me and my ex-life partner had came together. And during that time, you know, things were showing up everywhere. So I started investigating the history of Van Gogh, you know, and I realized that even then it was like he had this darkness. He was in a relationship with a beloved that left him hopeless. He cut off his ear, mutilated his ear. He went into the asylum and chucked himself in. He shot himself, and 2 days later he passed, which happened to be on my birthday that I discovered during that time. And so I knew that there was such a connection because during the history of that coming through, I would have dreams of the Van Gogh paintings. I would see them everywhere I went. And me and my ex-life partner had even went on this trip, and we saw, like, I took images. I'm going to share these images with you. We took some images and I took some photos that turned out like the Starry Night. We showed up at a restaurant, and out of all the booths that we could have sat at, we ended up sitting at one and looking up, and there was Starry Night. And, you know, it was so obvious that the stuff happening. Even my ex-life partner at the time knew something was coming through with it, and I didn't know. I still didn't really know what happened. I kind of forgot about it until he started coming back through. And since my last court date on January 9th, right around that time, Van Gogh started coming back in. And I'm going to share with you what I learned from that. But in that time frame, I was even doing some past life regression, and Van Gogh came through. And so basically, I guess, you know, one of the things that I do want to say about that too, and I'm going to put a link to this, is, you know, Van Gogh had really, like, in this despair, in this pit of despair and feeling this hopelessness, there was really a lot of beauty to his message. You know, when he painted this painting, it was really, if you really look at it and examine it, it is the dark night of the soul. It's what twin flames go to. I'm convinced through this experience that he was living out a twin flame dynamic in that past. And my book cover looks like Starry Night that I never realized until just in the last week it clicked. And that when, you know, when he did this painting, he also put in it 11 stars. Well, you know, like all the 1111, and there's like so many codes in this painting. I'm going to like share more with you about the message, I guess, as it comes through. But basically right now I'm still uncovering a lot of the pieces. I don't have all the answers, but I'm going to get you up to date with where it is and what it means for now. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and share with you the images I wanted to share and a little bit more information about that. And then I want to share with you those 8 ways so that we can help you turn your hopelessness into hopefulness. And I feel like that's part of Van Gogh's message. Okay. I feel like that he was so hopeless, and, you know, him coming through in this message, that I believe that it's to help share with you a message of finding that within yourself and believing in you, which I feel like is exactly where he was with what he did. For, you know, couldn't take any more of what he did. And so that's why I feel like this is an urgent message, because I feel like there's people out there going through some of this hopelessness, and I just hope that in this message you're able to find some hope for yourself. Okay, so I'm going to show you, I'm going to pick back up in just a second. I'm going to show you some images. Okay, so I wanted to share with you, those of you who know that's been following has been seeing me talk about how Mary Ella from the Netherlands has been helping Champ energetically and doing testing with a machine she uses, as well as some other
tools that she uses. And during the Christmas time, her dog and beloved Igor was on basically his deathbed, and she went through a lot of different aspects and in order for his healing process. But in the last couple of weeks through this process, I've been really feeling, and something came to me about Champ and leaving the light on for him. So I created this shrine on, I'm calling this his dog bed. But what I will tell you is this is not technically his dog bed. It is my meditation cushion that was purchased for me as a Christmas present for my true twin flame. And so in this process, I've been collecting things for Champ, been creating a shrine, and I was moving things around, and I decided to make a shrine in this bed, and I felt the urge to leave the light on for Champ. And in doing this, then I feel like that I feel like, to me, like it represented hope. It represented the concept and the idea that I was giving Champ hope. And I felt this connection with me connecting to Champ on a level that I felt like he needed hope. Well, just yesterday, Mariella had also messaged me saying, okay, I ran some updated tests with Champ, and he's feeling hopeless right now. And as you know, I've been telling you that, you know, where his pattern is where everyone else is. So that prompted multiple things. And so as I was feeling that, I started feeling all kinds of emotions and feeling for him, and knowing I've been leaving the light on, but knowing that I'm here for him, knowing that I'm sending him love. But I also felt like he's taken on energy of his surroundings and what is going on with him there with basically my ex-life partner. And so I'm amping that up in a way to send love and support without giving away my own power, but to believe in this journey, to believe he's coming home, because I feel like with his mission, he wants to be home. I've been seeing these signs he wants to be home, and now he's feeling really stuck because he doesn't know how to get here. He's powerless. He's, you know, this is out of his control. And I've been seeing signs such as the Homeward Bound movie showed up. It has golden retriever on the front of it. And, you know, Mariella sent me a book she's like reading today that has to do with dogs know when their owners are coming home. And it had a golden retriever on it. And that links to some other things for me. However, yesterday also this song came on that is by, I'm going to put the link below because it's so beautiful. It says, I will leave the light on for you. And it's by Tom Walker, and it was coming on just as all this was playing, as Mariella is telling me Champ's feeling hopeless, and I was feeling like, you know, my pit of my stomach feeling for him, but knowing I can't 100% do this for him, but I can support him in the certain ways. And she had actually also at the same time sent me some essential oil blend that's called Journey Home, that has to do with for pets that you spray. And it's a blend in order to create balance and harmony in the energy. So I ordered that yesterday, and I received a phone call from the owner of that company. And for whatever reason, I don't know, these are for pets. I've actually returned the call, and I'll be talking to her soon. But for some reason, she had a feeling she needed to call me and ask what I was using the spray for. And I'm going to share this message with her, and I don't even know what's coming out of that. But I also yesterday, while I was there at the event, a man at the event yesterday has a nonprofit called Champ's Service Dogs, and I don't know all the details because I went to talk to him right after, and he had won a giveaway, which was my book, Twin Flame Code Breaker. So he had won that too. So there's some kind of connection there. He's also called me this morning to chat about this. I'm going to be returning his call. So what I'm telling you is things are showing up. This is not typical, normal of these people to be contacting me in these alignments, but it's part of the process. And so it's going to be interesting to see, you know, what this is. But what I really feel like is part of it's why I feel like I help represent Champ's mission, and it's been stuck. And so me helping to get his mission back in full alignment, I think, is something that is beneficial to the energy here. That means I still believe in his mission. I still believe in him. I started this journey with him as a soul partner. He has taught me so much. I'm not going to leave him stuck in the situation of, yes, he maybe chose, even as, because dogs and animals go through their own ascension to learn their own lessons. I'm not going to leave him stuck in the starry night of being scared and like feeling depressed and feeling hopeless. And if that even means that I have to send the same energy to my ex and beloved for that same reason, that's going to happen, because I want them to feel safe. I want them to feel secure. I want them to not feel that they are feeling lost. And so on my way home, when I said this song came on, it really deals with the feeling of hopeless, and it's saying, you know, leave a light on the house upon the hill, like a lighthouse beacon for you. And I'm going to leave that on for you to find your way home. And we may have all made mistakes, but we all need to find a place to feel grace and peace and comfort. So I'm here for you. And so I'm suggesting in this that this is the message, and this, I want to tell you, this is still coming through from Van Gogh, and I'm going to show you why. I'm going to switch over to the next image I wanted to show you now here. So basically, this is my book cover, okay? And in my book cover, you know, I should have pulled in here a starry night image to this, just to kind of go from that, and I did not. But, you know, this is really a starry night. This is the home with the light on, you know. And then I told you I took a picture when I was me and my ex-life partner, when we were in Colorado, when we saw the starry night picture. And this is the image I took. Now, I recalled this image out in the middle of the night in bed just a few days ago. And it was, I had to go to my storage because I didn't even know where to put this book, because it was in a book of the whole trip. Now, here's the home, right? Here's the starry night. Now, you know, I know like that definitely gives the same impression as my book cover. You know, there's the house, you leave the light on, become the beacon, the starry night, you know, that dark night. Now, I want to tell you what's really cool in this at the same time. You see this deer down here? That was the bottom picture below this picture. Well, my true twin flame dynamic comes to me in the form of deer. And I told him one time with our dynamic, some things he had helped me with, and I was talking to him about recycled energy, how he had helped me in the past and I was helping him, and he was kind of feeling bad for me helping him. And I'm like, don't you believe in recycled energy? There was a time in my life where I was like totally like having so much despair and hopelessness that I felt like that I was a deer with the light shining in my eyes, and you were my beacon to help me get through that. I told this to my twin flame, and now ever since he comes to me in the form of deer, showing me processes. Now, here's this picture I found the other day with this deer with the light, the headlights in the eyes. Okay, so there is something behind this. And then now here's where it gets cool. So yesterday morning, as this was happening and this message was coming through, Mariella and I were messaging back and forth, and she goes, oh my gosh, you're not going to believe this. Look at this. She sends me a picture that her son had, Luca, she has two different sons. One of them connects with Champ, we've discovered. This one apparently is involved in this too. He's drawn a picture, painting a picture yesterday morning. Their time frame is off, so I guess it would have been, I'm not sure the timeline, but I get it yesterday morning, as far as he had drawn a picture, and in Dutch, this is saying starry night. He drew the starry night picture, and Mariella walked in and saw this. And she already knew about all the starry night energy coming through. And she sent this to me. Now, I'm here to tell you there's a message in this. There's a message coming through from Van Gogh. There's a message coming through, like Champ and my ex-life partner is even, again, pointing me back in this direction of how they link to Van Gogh. And during this process of having this happening, when I first made this realization and awakening again, I then started researching Vincent again and realized he's from the Netherlands and he's Dutch, okay? And so is Mariella. And in addition to that, at the time this came up, I started hearing the song Starry Night being sung, and then it was like, because I channel, you know, with Wayne Dyer a lot, if you've read my book and all the messages that come through, his daughter SKYE sings the song Starry, Starry Night. And I never linked all of that together. I never even really remembered her singing that. Didn't have a clue it related to Van Gogh. And I got up in the middle of the night and listened to it. And, you know, it talks about, you know, he suffers from insanity. He didn't, no one would listen to him, and perhaps they'd listen now. And in an aspect of, you know, being in pain and love and finding unconditional love within, you know, the self and listening. So I want you to know that this message is coming through to help you take your starry night and create the brightest day that you can find, and to pull yourself out of this pitfall of hell. I just really feel like this is part of the Van Gogh message of the starry night. We're in the dark night of the soul. I believe it represents the dark night of the soul. I believe he was a twin flame. I believe that he, you know, painted 11 stars in the universe. And I believe that we are to become those stars in the universe. And I believe we are to put others in the star of our universe for helping us find our brightness, our light of day. It's, you know, those circumstances, those situations, those pits of hell that create the brightness that we are to seek. And, you know, something else I have to tell you too about this, and this discovery of this latest research of Van Gogh, I discovered he also painted a painting of the sunflowers. Well, the sunflowers keep coming through as messages for twin flames, and I have some clients, and one really in particular, and it's even came through for Mariella before, but they represent divine love and about sowing the seeds and the generation and the regeneration of growth in that. And that when we plant our seeds and we sow those seeds, it comes back to us in harmonic balance. And that's what Van Gogh was talking about in the sunflower, is the harmony of the give and the take. And in his case, he learned the hard way that he gave, and he did not receive. But I believe that he's left a legacy. His painting did not even become famous until after his death. He painted that message to leave this legacy of leaving the light on and finding your way home, and the beacon. Become the beacon and put your beloved in, and make them the star, and you're going to find your way home. You're going to find the light, and that's finding the hope in this journey. And do not give up. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and close this out, and then I'm going to share with you the 8 different ways for you to discover how to shift from your hopeless into your hopefulness. Okay? So be right back with you.
Okay, everyone. I am back to finish sharing with you the 8 ways to develop hopefulness. And I have to share this with you just as I was switching from the recording of the images that I wanted to show you. And I was messing with my computer. I had my email screen pop up, and I saw in the message from a client that sent me a message that said, "You are light." And I was just like, oh my gosh, at the timing of, I just was, you know, talking about the light and showing the images and recording that message for you. And so I felt like to share this with you, the message she sent, because, well, and I'll share with you why in a second, but it says, "You are light." And it says, "Hi, Dr. Harmony. I just wanted to thank you for being you. I can't explain the impact you've had on my dad in just 3 sessions. Things I have been trying to tell him. He's saying, and it's all because of you. I am so thankful to have you along the journey with my family. You're simply the best." Now, I don't share that with you out of any need for glory. What I want you to realize is the divine timing and a little bit more to the story. I had a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful session with her father last night that there's actually more to come on that came out of, like, he represents the divine masculine. And I will be sharing more with him about that. Well, he knows what came out of it and he understands it represents the divine masculine, but he really taught me something huge last night that I want to share with others because it's actually some final steps of the divine masculine. And I shared that with him, but it's going to be a message that comes with it when the timing is right. However, what I want to tell you is I'm sitting here discussing with you, leaving the light on for your divine masculine, and that divine masculine is going to come home and find their way home. Now, what are we talking about here in this message? I can't explain the impact you've had on my dad in 3 sessions. I've been trying to tell him. She's been trying to do it, right? And it wasn't working. And she needed to let go. But in that, he's finding his own light. He's seeing the light. He's seeing the message. He's getting it. He's becoming the divine masculine, and he's finding his own way home on his own journey. And she surrendered to that, but yet she's seeing it happen now. And he's in, like, I feel like it's just another representation of what I was just saying in this message. And, you know, become the light, become the beacon, let your light shine for them, leave the light on for them. And this could not have showed up at a more beautiful moment. So now let's talk about those 8 ways. And then I have like a hopefulness creed that I want to share with you as we close out here. So what are the 8 ways? So hope plants a seed. So that's the first way. Like, think of the sunflower I mentioned in Van Gogh's painting, that it regenerates, it germinates, it rejuvenates, and it allows for new existence, including painting the new picture on a new canvas is what that's doing. It's allowing us to know that that seed will evolve and create a divine order, that when we plant corn, we get corn, we don't get tomatoes. And so when we sow seeds of divine love and unconditional love, and we surrender and let go, we still love in the process, that creates what we want back in the harmony of the give and the take, just like the message of Van Gogh's sunflower. Have a can-do spirit. Number 2, doing, like, when I say that, doing nothing less than being able to give your power, when you give your power away, okay, it technically says that you are shutting yourself off to the capabilities you're in control of, and I don't mean in control from an ego way, but that you have your destiny. So when you have a can-do spirit, that allows you to take back your empowerment. It allows you to take personal responsibility and personal accountability and settle for nothing less than that, and feel like you have some control in the situation, I guess is what I'm saying. That really, that you are the co-creator of your own life, and that your destiny and your outcome is part of this journey. So be honest with yourself is the other one. Try to stop putting the square peg in the round hole. Try to stop making things work and fix and seeing things as illusions. Move beyond the illusions and let go of the aspect and become honest with yourself in an aspect that you only do what you need to do for you, and just stay within your own honest truth and believe in yourself. Number 4 is hope will always lead you home. Believe that. So believe that hope will always lead you home. This is the truth, the light, and the way. Okay? Believe in the truth, the light, and the way, that it will lead you home. And when you believe that for yourself and finding your own direction, it will give you the energy you need to leave your light on for others to follow, rather than becoming the part of the darkness that feels your way through the darkness in a way that you become hopeless. Okay? So number 5 is cultivate your imagination. This will stretch your thought process. This will help you step outside of your comfort zone and grow as your spiritual growth. It will help you dare to dream. It will help you dare to dream a beautiful dream. So cultivate your imagination in this clean slate I've asked you to take, and to dream bigger than your mind, conscious mind, can comprehend. when you actually get out of your own way and you let things show up and you let them unfold and you let the acorn become the acorn tree without the control of the process, everything will show up for your journey. So, and then the things that actually come to play will be bigger and grander than your thought process could have ever have concocted from a human mind. So cultivate your imagination, let it run wild, believe in something bigger than you. Number 6 is personal commitment. Be able to commit to this journey in an aspect that you stay committed, stay on course, stay in your alignment, stay in your direction, stay in your truth, manifest what your heart's desires are, believe, shift your perception away from the doomsday, away from the outcome. Stay committed to the course and say yes to the journey. Number 7 is hope produces the strength that you need. So when you have hope and you discover this from what comes from within, that creates your empowerment and allows you to not put into the hands of others what you came here to do for yourself, and to let yourself be open to the destiny and the wishes of that destiny you came here to experience, and it will build strength in you along the way. Number 8 is accept this process. Accept yourself, accept your beloved, accept the journey. But most of all, in that acceptance is forgiveness in others and those around you, and to realize that out of that you deserve to have a good life. You deserve to have all that you wish and desire from your heart standpoint, so that you can help shift yourself out of, let go of those doubts and to release those aspects. So accept and forgive others. So to recap, that hope is to planting your seeds, to become honest with yourself, to have a can-do-it spirit, and that the believe that that light will always direct you home, so you can cultivate your imagination, creating personal commitment to your journey, and to hope that it can then create the strength and the courage and the empowerment you need as you learn to trust and accept this process, so that you can also forgive others along the journey and see only the love and the beauty in that. So I leave you today with a thought process here and a question for you. And what that is in the middle of your darkest hour, where you feel the most hopeless, are you staying hopeful? Are you leaving the light on? And so I want to leave you the thought of this hopefulness creed, so that you can say this mantra on a daily basis. Today, I commit to being hopeful, regardless of how dim the situation may seem. I am convinced that every circumstance is only temporary. I know that every dark night is followed by a sunny day. I am focused on the sunshine that is on its way. I choose to see only a starry night as an opportunity to go deeper within myself, choosing to take ownership of my own journey and stop making others responsible for my happiness, including my beloved. So I challenge you today to put this hopefulness creed into action. It will be, if you go to the link below for my blog for this this particular topic today, you will find more information about these 8 ways to develop this hopefulness, and you'll also find the hopefulness creed there, that you can get that. And I challenge you to every day, if you're feeling hopeless, to use this creed as your motto, to become the star in the universe yourself, to put your beloved the star, to realize that this starry night and this dark night of the soul and this hopeless feeling is really going to create your brightest day, and it's time for you to shine. It's time for you to find inner peace and happiness and to become hopeful, because that's what life is all about, is to dream and dream big with no limitations, because we're the ones that create our own limitations. Create a clean slate with a new imagination and a new image and a new picture. And I want you to think of that as now taking from starry night and painting your brightest day. So make sure to please comment, like, share the shine, check out my new blog, my new website. Be sure to also check out Champ's information listed below. The resources I mentioned will be there. So much love to you, many blessings. May you always face fears, find freedom, and glow forward on fire. Namaste.